Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good evening, Madam President, Honorable Council.
Sir, if you will bring the mic directly to you. Yes.
Good evening, Madam President, Honorable Council, and dedicated staff. My name is Michael Allaire. I'm a third generation, I'm seated also. I have Luna Stower. I'm a third generation resident of the city of Oakland. I'm a minority business owner and operator. I have a legal medical cannabis incorporated collective that I have operated for the last almost 9 years now. And probably the single most important qualification I have is that, having operated in this tumultuous environment for the better part of the last 9 years. It hasn't always been easy, and one would think with the prospect of regulation and new laws that is actually going to be a better climate. But for the relatively small grower, small operator, it in fact is not. The MRSA laws are not very beneficial to us at all. They're in fact prohibitive. If you look into the MRSA laws, you'll actually find that small home-based commercial cultivation is prohibited currently. And I'm going to speak to an alternative to that in a moment. Within our local ordinance, which I want to give credit to city staff Greg and Joe have put in tremendous amount of time. And the Cannabis Regulatory Commission has worked extremely hard, and other stakeholders in the industry and in the community have all come together to put this together. Is it perfect? Probably not. Can we do better? Over time, hopefully so. But this is what we have right now. I'm here tonight to speak specifically on behalf of the home-based cultivator. Home-based cultivators, you may not know, are actually the backbone of the supply chain of the legal medical cannabis industry. If you, in my informal polling with dispensaries that I do business with, they're indicating 50 to 80% of their supply chain comes from small growers. I'm going to speed it up a little bit and skip a couple points. Right now in California, AB 2516, Assembly Bill 2516, introduces new licensing category to the MRSA law. This is very important for Oakland because if that passes, which it's on track to do, it will introduce a new category called specialty cottage. Specialty cottage will allow home-based cultivation indoor and outdoor. And with that in the MRSA law, Oakland can then easily, without having to take any risk or literally the forward step that Oakland normally takes, will be able to actually introduce home-based cultivation as a legitimate part of our local ordinance. I want to remind you that this is not just houses growing pot. This is families. And in my group, in my organization, I've got multi-ethnic families, I've got LGBT families, I've got disabled families, all growing cannabis as part of their subsistence farming. And this is a term that I think we all need to get accustomed to because it's been the tradition in the United States. We've built our country on this kind of agriculture, subsistence farming. My grandparents immigrated in 1930s to come here and be farmers. I'm circling back to my family's tradition by being a cannabis cultivator in the current climate. Last thing I want to say is, Madam President, you're driving me crazy because I got the game on TiVo at home and I didn't want to know the end. Councilman Gallo, props to you. Every time I've seen you in the last week and a half, you've been wearing that Warriors shirt. Great. Council, there's a lot more to say. I'd like to offer myself. Anybody on this council who'd like to find out more about what home-based cultivating really means inside of the industry, I'd be happy to come and spend time with you if you have the time to talk about it. I can cover it in a half an hour. I'll bring other people, other growers in my organization.
Thank you so much.
I'd be happy to convey this deeply to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Jessica Peters. I'm the president of Moxie Meds, a CBD-rich line of medications. I've been an Oakland resident for over 6 years and been in the cannabis industry that whole time. I'm here tonight because I support the intent of this last-minute amendment, but I think that Supernova's recommendations to the council would be a much more positive direction to go. We need to level the playing field, and I don't think this last-minute amendment actually does so. We need to ensure that there's equal opportunities for women and people of color in this industry. I'm lucky to have investors and financial and legal backing, but many people don't, and I don't want to see those people out of the market. I want to see them further in. I want to see them able to be competitors to me and be able to move on up. And I think that we need to think really strongly about what precedent we set here in Oakland and how much that relates to national precedent in terms of equality in the cannabis industry. I appreciate that that's what y'all are trying to do. I just think that's not going to be the way to have it happen. Everyone's already spoken to this, but obviously, overwhelmingly, people of color are the folks impacted negatively by the policing of cannabis and its prior self. Let's flip the script on that. Let's change it so that people of color have an opportunity and women have an opportunity to be at the head of one industry in our whole country.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good evening, Madam Chair President and council members. My name is Elliot Beckelman. I fully support the ordinance and the Brooks Equity Amendment. I think it's creative and I think it's specific. I am a cannabis attorney. I'm a former district attorney in San Francisco. I served with Terrence Hallinan. I'm a former labor commissioner attorney, and I think what's happening is that the medical marijuana laws are changing. It's based upon advocacies like people in this room here that saw it as a civil right. And economic rights is also part of civil rights. The Brooks Amendment goes towards that. I think it's a creative way of approaching it, creative way of dealing with the victims of the war on drugs. I think if it's passed, it's going to heal families. I think it's going to stabilize neighborhoods. I think it will be a stimulus and be a precedent. So I urge you to vote for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Amir Varric Amma. I'm representative, all of us are none. We're a grassroots organization here in the Bay Area, and I also support the letter that Supernova provided for you. I'm here on several reasons. Number one, everybody that came that had a business does not look like me. The way y'all have this audience right now, I cannot participate. What you're doing is you're making a public safety issue. People is not going to voluntarily starve, and this is what you want to do. Individuals that look like me, you're making us starve. We've been prosecuted for the last generations on marijuana. I have several hundred arrests for marijuana. I can't go down the streets without somebody stopping me. When I go on the road, I have to wear a specific search from the Drug Policy Alliance that says, no more drug war, just so I can start a conversation with an officer. So if y'all have anything, please go back to the audience, listen to Supernova, come to me. My name is Amir Mubarak, and you will get real community input. Because I don't think you really have community input on individuals, like I said, that look like me. You can continue to count and see how many people are lawyers, have masters and things like that, or how many people come in here that says I've been in the penitentiary for some drugs that the government allowed in here because we have a pen, that we have a satellite that can read these words, but you can't see no drugs coming in the nation. Don't know about that one. So there's benefits for the marijuana, but what's the benefits for me? There is none economic benefits. The only thing you're trying to do is make me become a consumer. You want to give me a marijuana card again. So my friends, my families will not be able to participate in this in no shape, phase, or fashion. One thing that you can do is have all 50% of all license go to the disenfranchised, especially those who have criminal records and the poor and disenfranchised. That individual money should go from the neighborhoods, from the taxes, and it can go back into the community because these individuals will be in the community. They're from the community, and they will stay here longer. Two, any money that is earmarked for the police department or law enforcement should only be from contacting that person and bringing them to a treatment center. No more, no less. Because if you give it to the police, then the same thing you're doing is you're going to increase the prison population all over again. And here you go with your public safety issue all over again. So you have the ability to start a trend. There's three things that I tell everybody across the country. One, recognize your civic responsibility. Y'all represent the community. Please represent the community on this issue. Two, don't give in to peer pressure. Big businesses and all these people who come and talk. I can guarantee you, come to the communities, and there'll be a lot that you will find out that you can do a lot with just a little compassion. And the third thing, change the dominant narrative. Yes, we have a way to set a trend in the nation for everybody to do the right thing. It's hypocritical what's happening now in our political process. Please don't be a part of that hypocrisy. Please walk down the street and be able to hold your head high with everybody in every community. Because the way you're having it right now, I can guarantee you will be back here talking about you need more police, more prisons, and everything else because of this marijuana business.
Thank you so
Don't
much,
look
sir.
at me. Look at Denver right now and see the problems that they're having by not being inclusive.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam President and Honorable City Council staff, especially for your endurance tonight. Well done. My name is Ryan Miller. I'm a veteran of the U.S. Marine Corps and co-founder of Operation EVAC, which educates veterans about cannabis by providing veteran support solutions at cannabis dispensaries in Oakland, San Francisco, and Richmond. My goal today, beyond strongly supporting the Supernova recommendations, is to impart upon you the desperate need to include military veterans in the effort for employment and equity in the cannabis opportunities in Oakland. Not only have veterans earned preferential employment and equity consideration through contributions of sweat and blood, but absent shared sacrifice through the draft, the majority of the enlisted military population comes from lower socioeconomic classes, striving desperately for upward social mobility. Furthermore, please consider the restorative potential of requiring employing veterans in cannabis. Through cannabis cultivation and horticultural therapy, veterans are healed through caring for the plants. Warriors whom formerly violently extinguished life access restoration through delicately nurturing life. In closing, a career in cannabis uniquely provides for not only my basic needs, but directly saved my life. Because I didn't die on the battlefield for my country, every day that I'm alive, I wish that I did. My mission to heal the veteran community through cannabis allows me to continue serving my country and community nonviolently. A career in cannabis saved my life. Let's save veterans' lives together through ensuring for veteran inclusion in Oakland's equitable employment language.
Thank you so much. After the last speaker, colleagues will entertain a motion to extend the meeting beyond midnight. Next speaker.
Hello, my name is Taryn Buxton. I'll try to keep this short. I'm one of the other co-founders of Operation EVAC. I'm a 40-year Oakland resident. Thank you for making it through this long yet important meeting. I'm speaking on behalf of all the Oakland residents who are not millionaires who would like to start a cannabis business. We're seeing a huge influx of out-of-town money coming to take advantage of the progressive cannabis laws voted in by Oakland residents. Locals who voted in these laws should be the first to benefit. All the out-of-town millionaires can go and change policy in their old communities as opposed to just taking advantage of ours. Tonight, everything has been about community. Our community is struggling to hold itself together, whether it be about renters protection or allowing Oaklanders to remain in Oakland, or Oakland cannabis business owners bidding against out-of-town moguls for the limited permittable property in the green zone. Local cannabis business owners care about this community, spend money in this community, support this community, and vote in this community. Please ensure the opportunity and income that will come from this local laws to benefit those that are voted the laws in. And having worked in the Oakland cannabis industry for over 8 years, I can say that with the exception of the sales staff and the security, virtually none of the owners or senior staff are actually from Oakland. They pay lip service to supporting the community and do a limited amount to actually support it. If they actually had local residents owning these businesses, they would do more to support the community with the money that comes from businesses. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.